What up, y'all? It's KP the Sports Chick. So, any of you who have subscribed to my page, and thank you, by the way, or if you've watched any of my videos, you know that at some point I'm going to talk about LeBron. And you know, the fans will call it hating. I call it truthing. You know what I mean? So here's the thing. Usually especially with things like the NBA postseason, there are different stories that come out every day from, like right now, the playoffs this year are ripe with stories. Like Draymond calling anybody except himself dirty sounds ridiculous. Like the fact that he doesn't realize that he is the modern day Bruce Bowen, except crappier, is beyond me. You got Aaron Hernandez being his conviction being overturned because he committed suicide, but we really know that this brother did his due diligence before he committed suicide, because now we know in a suicide note to his fiance, he said she's going to be rich because, now since the conviction has been overturned, Aaron Hernandez's attorneys can now go after the Patriots for bonus monies that were never received or obviously put on hold for clear reasons. And then you got things like Isaiah Thomas's situation and just so many stories going around the league right now that sometimes I kind of just sit back and let things play out for a little bit, because there's always multiple layers to each situation. And so with LeBron in the playoffs this year, it's, again, a layered situation. Because, again, if you watch any of my videos, I have a whole, I got a few videos dedicated to what I think and about LeBron, with his words, what he does when he sits out. And, yeah, not everybody's going to agree with it because, my LeBron fans, they go hard for him. They rock. And while you guys may call it hating, I call it truthing, man. I'm just saying, from 11 games into the season, when this brother said in preseason that he was in the best shape of his career, and he sits out 11 games in, which I also did a video about, and trust me, I heard from the LeBron fans on that one. Towards the end of the season, when he decided he wanted to sit out himself and like 3 of the other starters and have hot coffee delivered to him during the game. I mean, unless you're hiding some injury that we're not privy to, there's, to me, I just didn't agree with the whole excessive use of sitting out because you're older and you need to rest. Like, you can rest when you're retired. And especially people like Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, J.R. Smith, who's been injured most of the year, so that's different. But let's just say Kevin Love, who has been injured this year, but not to the extent of J.R. Smith, and Kyrie Irving, who is in his 20s, early 20s, and does not need to be sitting out at all. And guaranteed, if he wasn't cool like that with LeBron or on LeBron's team, there's no way that he would be even having the opportunity or the access to be sitting out any games like that. What other 20-plus-year-olds on any NBA team that has that type of access to, yay or deny if they can sit out or not? It's ridiculous. And then everything in between, from LeBron throwing his teammates under the bus in public interviews, like, that's the kind of stuff that gets me talking to you guys about. Because you're supposed to be a leader at the end of the day, and if you are the leader, you can't do this kind of stuff, right? But I digress. My thing this postseason is the fact that they're coasting through again, and it's kind of not distracting. It's kind of not really telling of what the real situation is in Chicago, because if you remember, towards the end of the season this year, they weren't playing so well. I mean, they had a little bit of a surge at the end, but there was this like month span where they weren't playing well at all. And I feel like it's a very dysfunctional group and it all has to do with the fact that LeBron has his hands in every pot. Understandably so, because think about it as a corporate 9 to 5. Like, you are the star, whatever, fill in the blank, and yeah, people are going to want to be interested in your decisions, what your opinions are on trades, whatever, right? So I get all that, but LeBron cannot be coached. Anybody who thinks that Tyronn Lue is actually coaching this dude is not the brightest crayon in the box, because we all know who's running the show in Cleveland. If Tyronn Lue were to actually something were to happen where he couldn't coach a game, LeBron would just be able to swoop right in. You know what I mean? Like, you can say that there's an assistant coach, but we all know who's running the show. So it's masking the play that the weak opponents that are playing the Cavaliers are masking what may go down in the finals, kind of like what happened last year before LeBron decided to show up for Game 5 of the finals last year, which is Toronto is not a bad team. I'm not saying they're a bad team. They're just not. I thought that they may have a chance to win a couple of games, or at least have some type of competition, be some type of competition for the Cavaliers, but that did not happen at all. And same thing with Indiana, just no competition. But you know what? LeBron was smart. While Isaiah Thomas was over here talking about we're going to be the 1 seed and can't nobody stop us and, give us some respect, LeBron was in the cut saying, hey, yo, let them deal with all that. Let them deal with John Wall, okay? Because I pretty much believe that LeBron saw the bigger picture and knew that Washington was going to make it to the second round, because anybody who's been watching really closely the Wizards this year, they have been flying under the radar, and I think their record has not been indicative of the potential that they truly have to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And now here we are, they're 2 games removed from it and have a serious, serious shot of playing LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals. So my thinking is LeBron was like, okay, well, we're going to face the Wizards, and if we do wind up losing to the Wizards, it should be in the Eastern Conference Finals and not in the semifinals. We're going to take our chances and stick with the 2 seed. This dude's been to 6 finals back to back. He hasn't ended his season in April can you remember the last time? It's been at least 7 years. So he's always finished in June. Let's just put it that way, right? That's an amazing stat. So my pet question I want to pose to you guys, what I'm really curious about is, first of all, who do you think is going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals? And do you think that that Cleveland will come out on top, or do you think that Boston or Washington really has a chance against these dudes? Because the Cavs really usually don't get exposed until they hit the finals, when they have to play a Western Conference team. And the chances are that it'll be Golden State again is very high, but you also have the Rockets, which I believe will come out of the Spurs series in 7 games. But you also have the Rockets, who could really, really do some damage to Cleveland if they were to go to the finals. So I want to know from you, who do you think is going to win the Eastern Conference Finals? And if whoever comes out of that series, who do you think would win the finals? Because I'll tell you right now, if Boston were to come out of the Eastern Conference and make the finals, they would lose. That's first of all. If Washington were to come out of the East and go to the finals, they would lose too, but it would be more competitive. And of course, if Cleveland comes out of the East and then they go play, if they play the Warriors, they'll probably lose. I want the Warriors to win, not because I'm a fan, but I'm sorry, I want Cleveland to win the finals if they play against Golden State. I'm sorry. I mean, I just don't want KD to succeed this year. I'm just this real talk. But just saying, man, I think that's another video, but I think what he did was he was a sucker for that. But if it's Golden State and Cleveland again, I think Cleveland should and will come out on top this time again. And I think that if Cleveland plays the Rockets, I think the Rockets would end that. I think the Rockets have their number. They would end that. The Rockets have way too many 3-point scorers, even when James is on the bench. Okay, so when LeBron's on the bench, yeah, you got Kyrie and Kevin Love, but sometimes they don't even know what to do without LeBron on the floor. So, and then if the Spurs come out the West and it's Cleveland Spurs series, Cleveland would win. It would be a 7-game series though, but because Kawhi would not go down without a fight, or either would matter really, but Cleveland would still come out on top. So I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments down below. Again, I read them all. Thank you all for subscribing. I've had a little bit of an influx lately, so I appreciate subscribing. And don't forget, you can follow me all over social media. I've been to all the Houston Rockets home games and playoffs so far. So I've been documenting them on Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook Live. And so you can find all those links in my cover page here at KP the Sports Chick. And then I also have a radio show on 953jams.com. It's internet radio, access to everybody. KP the Sports Chick is the name of the show every Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon Central Time. So again, leave your comments below. I look forward to seeing them all. Talk to you soon.